market our listings, and so forth. But we're going to focus on lead generate for buyers and sellers. What is a database? All right, our database is the living record of our business. It's important because it helps us to nourish our relationships with our clients. It's a living, viable record. The size of your database, once again, determines the size of your data bank. It's valuable. This is where your clients are located. You want to get to know your clients, know personal things about your clients, so that way you can put them in different segments, different groups. I know with Keller Williams, we have Command, whatever CRM you're using, you can tag your clients in different categories. So it helps to produce predictable flow. I can't see on the other side of my screen, Katie, because of the photos. But anyway, what is the purpose of your database? What makes a database valuable? Again, what other industries use a database? So it's prospecting and marketing. And what makes targeted marketing effective? All right, essential. That's the first thing. That's just the basic information, the name, contact information, past business and past contact record, just somebody that you know, just the basic information. What's an effective database? Meaning, of course, you have to have permission from all of your clients to call them. You can't just randomly go on certain lists. I know they sell lists where you can get contacts, addresses, phone numbers, emails. But if they're on a do not call list, you can't just randomly contact somebody. So you want to be able to obtain permission, first of all, to talk to that person. Collect personal information, insights, and preferences. Like, for example, somebody might prefer to only be contact via text. Somebody else might only like emails. Somebody might want only phone conversations, depending on the age group or whatever you're working with, depending on that person. And then, of course, exceptional would be when you get all of your clients in a database in one spot. I know for me, when I first started off, I had names here, names there, and then eventually you want to get them all in one systematic system where you can reach out to your clients on a regular basis, which is automated. All right. Once again, why use a database? First of all, you want to avoid the today trap. And what does that mean? If you only working with the clients that you're dealing with today, that's the clients you're going to have in the next 10 years. Nora says every 10 years, people buy and sell. So if you're only dealing with the clients of today, that's your business of tomorrow. So you want to constantly build your database. You can separate them in leads, and then you can separate them in contacts. So the difference between leads and contacts is that a lead is something that you may have gotten from your marketing, whereas a contact is someone that you know. So you constantly want to feed your database, so that way you'll have a return on your investment. All right, once again, two types of businesses, today's and tomorrow's. Without a database, your business is built only for today. All right, so let's just say you have 100 people in your database. And out of that 100, 65 are looking. And out of that 65, only 58 of those people are really qualified. So now you're down to 7. So really, you really have 7 people that you're working with. So what happens next week, next month? So that's why you want to constantly feed your database. All your contacts are potential business. So focus on 100 constantly. All right. It states that every dollar you invest in your database, you can expect to earn $14. All right. The lowest cost leads would basically be people that you know and like your friends, your inner circles, people that you deal with on a daily basis. The lowest conversion costs would be those people that you built around your friends and relationships so far as your referrals. And then third, it pays for itself. So if you're doing 1 and 2, then you will have more leads, more contacts in your database. Develop your database. Anybody have any questions? Any questions? No one?
Nothing so far.
Nothing so far. Everything is simple.
Does everybody on this call have a database?
Yes.
Yes.
Everybody has a CRM that they're using?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Okay. All right. Okay. Marketing, prospecting. All right. So here, when we talk about marketing, it requires money. So that's leads that you find. Prospecting is more proactive. You're doing the groundwork. You're actually finding the leads. So you basically want to do a little bit of both. It's really important to have conversations with your clients to know their dislikes and likes about real estate, and then you'll kind of know which system will work better for each client, or what works for you. So you want to feed it constantly, segment into groups, and engage and touch your plan. All right, here's some examples of tags. Anybody working in Command already? With Keller Williams?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm learning it.
Y'all learning it? So have y'all learned how to do the tags at all, or y'all been doing that?
Yes.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Oh. Anybody want to say anything about Command with the tags they want to add to what I'm talking about? No? All right. Well, example of tags would be business relationships, someone that you've done business with. You can tag them as an active client, a past client, someone who's referred you business, a VIP, which is somebody you've probably had multiple transactions with. You can separate them by their hobbies and their interests. That way, when you're talking to your client, you can go to your database and look at the hobbies and interests and maybe have some commonalities that you can relate with that person, like the property type. Like if you know you have a client that only wants this type of property, same thing with vendors. And a lot of times people don't have their vendors as a part of their database, but sometimes you can get business from your vendors. So you might want to add some of them. You want to keep relationships with them as well. Like on a webinar yesterday where this was told through my company that your vendors are your #1 source. So like a lot of us, we never take our vendors out to lunch or dinner or coffee. But if we establish relationships with our vendors, such as title companies or whoever you use as a lender, they can also be a person that can refer you business. So keep that in mind. So you want to feed it constantly, segment it into groups, and engage and touch your plan. And this is some examples that they use in Command. And if you're familiar with it, not sure if every system has it, but it gives you the place where you can go in there and tag it.
Yes, tagging names and color coding based off which name you give that group, so that it's very easy for you to recognize and group them.
Okay. Any questions so far?
So, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Hey, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning. Quick question, and I don't want to veer off the topic, but with the tags, I know how to tag, but in terms of filtering the groups, just to kind of like if I'm, with sellers, if I want to tag the sellers red, I just need the link or something there to work with to know how to filter it so I can just start grouping people into subcategories that I need them to be in at this point. So I don't know.
That might be a
Katie question? Katie
webinar.
question?
And Katie may can help you with tagging. Once you go into Command, they have a lot of different workshops on how you can do
Right.
the Command system once you get your database in there.
Right.
And then you could, put them in whatever categories. I just really start working with it myself as well. So I'm learning it as I go. But I will say, since I've been reaching out to my clients, even more so with emails, I got a listing as of yesterday. So it does work, and it was a client that I hadn't talked to in a while. So it does.
Go Sam.
It does work if you're reaching out to them, especially right now. A lot of us been stuck in the house, of course. So you do want to make those calls. So basically, if you contacting your leads, you're looking at maybe 19 to connect. So that's 4 touches, like a quarterly phone call, 12 touches, maybe a monthly email, 2 touches, like the direct mail calendar, and then 1 touch, just like some kind of annual get together. Hopefully by the end of the year, you'll be able to do something like that. That's for your leads. As for your contacts, you're looking at about 4 touches, 4 phone calls, 26 touches, like something, a bi-weekly email. And once again, once you set up your database, you'll be able to email your clients on a regular basis, and they respond. I've gotten response from the emails, and most of my emails have been very basic about COVID-19, things you can do, numbers to call if you need help with unemployment. It could be very simple, basic stuff, stuff that they need right now because of the environment and the climate that we're in. So for contacts, once again, that's people that you know. Leads are people that you may have gotten just from your referral or somebody that contacted your marketing. So for contacts, you're looking at 4 touches, phone calls, could be an example, 26 touches, bi-weekly emails, 2 touches, like some kind of event or get together, and then 4 touches, direct mail or calendar. Any questions on that? Okay.
I have a question about Command.
Yes.
I'm pretty new to it, and I'm sure I can find this answer by YouTube in a couple videos. But I wanted to know what the difference in the contact section, whenever you add a contact, what's the difference between marking it as a lead and then adding it to the sales pipeline? What is adding it to the sales pipeline actually do?
Now see, that
I can answer that real quickly. So adding to your sales pipeline is moving that contact from your contacts to your opportunities and saying that you're either it's a buyer or it's a seller or it's a landlord or a lease, and you're about to add that to your pipeline, put it in opportunities, and it's going to go through a deal with you.
Okay, so it's basically adding them as a client.
Yes.
Gotcha. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions on that about Command? Katie could probably answer some of the Command questions. I'm learning it. I finally got my database in there, and you want to work on getting your percentage higher, at least 50% or above, and you're probably doing okay with it.
Yeah, I'll not to interrupt you, Sam. I'll look into doing a Q&A on Command probably next week if y'all would like that. on Zoom, we can just go there, and anything that y'all have, we can just jump on and get that out of the way.
That would be great, Katie. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, any other questions before we move on? About command or anything else about leads, contacts? The differences in the touch campaign? And if you have Market Leader too, for some of the newer agents, Market Leader has these campaigns already set up for you. You just have to go in and design your campaign and put in your client's information, and it'll do it for you. So you can look into Market Leader as well, and I think all the Keller Williams agents have it. All right, so you want to build your culture around testimonials and reviews. Anybody doing that right now with their database? Like sending out a link for your clients to do a testimonial or review? Well, that's something you can add to your website. So when you email in your clients, you can email a link of some sort to get testimonials and reviews. You can do it, I think you can do it on Facebook as well if you're really good with social media. So once again, the key again, feed it constantly, consistently, segment into groups. And the reason why you want to do that is because you can have those conversations and then engage it with a touch plan.
So Sam, quick question. So the testimonials and reviews, you said we can add that into the database, like under our setting information?
Your website.
Through the
Like
website.
On your website, you can add a link to your website and ask for your clients to do testimonials. And then you can add that to the email that you send out on your touches. So if you emailing your clients every other week or twice a week, on your email have a link to your website, and your website will have the link where they can do testimonials.
Okay.
All right, so regularly update and prune your database. What does that mean? Are the right people in your database? Is their information accurate? Are they in the correct group? Has somebody moved? Has that person, got a relative that's now in the business? So you constantly want to update and make sure you have your clients in the right place. Recap and ahas. Anybody learn anything different that they didn't already know so far? Or is everybody an expert and this seems pretty basic? Any comments?
Well, I would say I like the idea of a aha for me is definitely building the culture around testimonials and reviews, and connecting that, going back to the website and connecting that link to the website. I like that idea. That was something that I had not done, really had not thought about it. So that
Okay.
opened up a different mindset for me. So thank you for that.
Awesome. Anybody else?
Hey, I agree. That's a very good idea. I want to kind of add. Do you have any recommendations on reviews or websites that you use?
Well, for me, I use Scott Leroy. And he's available for our company. We have a contract with him. So if you contact him, and I know Katie can give you the information, he can help you with adding that link to your website.
Thank you.
So contact Scott Leroy for that. That's what I did. That's how I was able to get mine working.
Okay.
And he's really, really good. He does a lot of webinars as well. If you want to, do it yourself, but he can help you with it if you're not very techie. But I think you are, so you may be able to connect it yourself. But for those that aren't, if you contact him or go to any of his webinars, he'll teach you and tell you how to do that.
Thank you.
Anything else anybody want to add? All right. Ahas to achievement. So, how has your thinking changed? What ideas or mindsets were new, which we just talked about? What do you feel differently about? What was meaningful to you today, which we discussed as well? And how will your behaviors be different moving forward? So some of the things that we didn't talk about that you should also be doing is working on your scripts, lead generation, and all of that flows together with your database. And if you're new to the business, you always want to practice your contracts. Make sure you know how to do your contracts, because that is very, very basic and very important in your business as well. I can't see this question. All right, goals to set up your career on fire. So every day, you want to add 10 contacts. You want to have 10 conversations a day, 10 handwritten notes, and 10 views, 10 home previews per week. So how do you accomplish that? Basically, our culture is a little different now, but in the past, I could say, you know, you put 10 business cards in a Ziploc or envelope, or however you want to do it, and make sure you're giving out at least 10 contacts via business cards. Now we can't do that so much, so you might be relying on just a lot of phone calls. Definitely 10 conversations, calling, checking on your clients. Handwritten notes, you can still do that, except you might be putting them in the mail. And if you do that on a regular, you will get home previews. And of course, you can track what you're doing in Command as well. So there's an area where you can go in and update what's going on with your clients in Command. So lead generate, uncover motivations, identify objections. Like right now, a lot of objections are probably going to come up with people listing their homes, versus someone that has a vacant house. Like I have a client that I just got, I was telling you, and she wants to make sure that everyone has shoe covers. So I don't know if y'all thought about that. We talk about the gloves, the masks, but that's the first time I had somebody say, I want anybody coming in to have shoe covers when they come in my house, because the coronavirus could also be on your shoes. So I did order some shoe covers. You can get them at Amazon. So think about those kind of things when you're listing right now. You might want to add that to your list. Close deals, speak in terms the customer understands, and then build confidence with your clients. All right, we're not going to practice scripts. All right, and this is what I was talking about earlier. Compliance, do not call. You do not want to contact people you do not have permission to call. So basically you want to focus on your contacts. And the leads that you get, make sure you have permission to contact them. All right. And this is just Command and Connect, where you can get more information on what we talked about today and expand that more as well, so far as adding your contacts in your database. All right, create a success list. All right, if you have a piece of paper, if you could write down your to-do, the things you should do, and that task. If you can do that now, and if anybody want to share anything that they have not been doing that they know they should do now, and priority, put them in a priority 1 through 5. And then if anyone want to share what they plan to do moving forward. I give you a few minutes to think about that. So number one would be your most important priority. What you should do, what you need to do, and then what are they? Anybody want to share?
I've just worked on two. The most important thing is to always lead generate. But
Yes.
once you get those leads, follow up is definitely important, because otherwise people will think you're a flake if you're not following up. They get one call from you and then you fall off the grid.
Right. Great, Stephanie. Thank you.
Welcome, Samantha.
Anybody else?
Well, I would say, should do, to do, adding on to what Stephanie said, lead generate every day. And right now, double down on our time that we're lead generating. So
Mhm.
instead of like lead generating 2 hours, we need to be doing more like 4 hours a day. And that's a challenge. But what I should do is, chunk those 4 hours and be consistent with the times that I lead generate every day. So the challenge is with all of the different sessions and webinars and Zoom sessions that are coming on all day long. That's where, I'm kind of still trying to work my way through, making sure I'm catching what I need to catch at this point, and also, lead generating, as well as family being at home. So it's a challenge, but I'm working on it. I am working on it.
And I could add to that too, but what I've been doing, some days I'm really good at it and some days I'm not. I'm like you, with all the different webinars. If you could focus on maybe, or you could try, or maybe it might work for you. This is what I've been doing. I'll contact at least 2 of my clients and see how they're doing, and 1 vendor. So if you can be consistent every day with 3, in addition to your other stuff, that might help as well.
Mhm.
If you like, I have a calendar where I'll write down 2 clients and 1 vendor. And
Mhm.
every day I contact those 2 clients and 1 vendor.
Gotcha.
It's like just me and them, somebody that I have a relationship with. And believe it or not, I've found, of some people, I found out one of my lenders had the virus. His wife was in the hospital. You'd be amazed at how gracious they are when you like checking up on them to see how they're doing.
Right.
And you learn a lot about your clients by doing that. So that's what I've been doing. It's a challenge.
Mhm.
And also, I have created a schedule, which is, for me, it's been a valuable thing to do because of all the sessions. Like, for me, you might want to do maybe 9 to 12 or 9 to 1, just doing your lead gen, and then maybe have your lunch break. And then from maybe 3 to 5, you might want to do some educational, then put in your gym time for like maybe 4 to 5, and then dinner. And then in the evening, have that free time with your family. So for me, if I do like a calendar of things to do schedule, it helps me to stay on track. Otherwise, it gets very, very crazy
Mhm.
with all the Zooms and, webinars.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Most of the Zooms are being recorded, so sometimes if you can't get them and you feel that they're important, maybe go back and see if they've been recorded, and you can maybe do those later on in the day, because it will get time consuming. Monday, I think the whole day was Zooms, seminars, webinars.
Right. Our new normal. Oh. Anybody else want to add anything? Please do. We can share, and anything you want to share about your business that you find that's been valuable, with this. Please share if you want to.
Well, for me, the scripts and role play, like I've been kind of trying to be more intentional with practicing that daily. And it's really been helping. So I'm grateful that that is constantly, kind of pushed, especially being a new agent. So that has helped me tremendously.
Yes, and I think they did that class yesterday. Were you able to attend that one? I think it was just scripts.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, guys. All right, so I think Katie has a link for you to complete the survey, if you would be so gracious to do that. Hopefully you got something out of it. I appreciate you getting on here with me to do this. And hopefully you learned something different, even if it's one thing. I hope you did. And hopefully we'll all get better at these webinars. This is my first one. So it was great to get on here and talk to you guys and, talk about what we can do to grow our business and really, really nurture our databases. Anything else?
No, thank you so much,
Thank you,
Sam.
Sam.
You
We
did
appreciate
great.
it.
I think something for everybody to put into their time blocking would be to focus on your database and make sure that you're nurturing, all the leads that you have in there based off what's going on. And if you've attended the previous Ignite sessions, they have, come up with ways on how to communicate that to each person in the database, as well as, motivate you to do that.
I have a question before we leave, and it's for probably everyone, or Sam maybe. In the past, what I used to do is when I made touch base with contacts or when I was doing my lead generation, I would send a card, a KW card out or whatever. And now I'm trying to see, is there something new or something that can be done without being, sending a card saying, great talking to you, blah, 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 blah. Any recommendation, anybody have anything that they're doing different? I know we've been trying to save on postage, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know if you covered anything like that. I'm sorry, I was late getting in, but anybody has anything?
Follow up after you talk to them on the phone?
Yes.
I usually email. That's been my thing to do. I know you can maybe look in Market Leader.
Okay.
They have a lot of different designs of things that you can send to your clients. So I would think it's probably something there that you could probably use in Market Leader. They have
Okay.
many different designs. And you might could create something, and fine tune it to what you want it to look like.
All right. Okay.
I think too, Joan, if I got a little sidetracked for a minute, but if I'm understanding you, like the database is really a one-stop shop, right?
Mm-hmm.
Once you set up your database, feed your database and making contact with every single person that's in the database. What I'm doing is when I make contact with them, I'm trying to, my intention is, of course, do the care call, check in, depending on where they are, whether they're a previous client, investor, or a seller or whatever, just delivering some information to them, as Sam was saying, sharing with them, do you know about the CARES Act? Do you know as a landlord that, you can qualify for grant money at this time, sharing that information. And then once I complete that conversation, just making sure that I'm trying to maximize or complete their database, like go to 100% with them, getting, updating the address, the email, getting a date of birth if they don't mind sharing that information. And then, putting them on the SMART plan. So does that help you, Annie?
Yeah, yes, it does. So basically you're saying that, I know you add them to your database, to command and everything. I I guess more or less my habit was just to write a quick note and then mail it out to them.
Yeah.
That they'll get it. Like,
Still do
Yeah.
that, Joan. I wouldn't get away from that. I think
Right.
the idea that you do that.
huh? Say that again?
I think that's a great idea that you do that. I wouldn't stop doing that.
Right. Just to make sure you have the updated, address information for them. So while, you're saying, I'd like to, send you a message and, do you mind, updating your home address? So what I'm doing is like, before I call them, I'll just, especially if they're LLC, if I know they've got a business, I'll just go into the Secretary of State site and just, look at their address and just make sure that, see if that information is still correct. And if not, just update that. And then, yeah, after you do all that, you can send them a handwritten. Now, that's a lot of work, that you're doing. But right now, we can't afford to, skip a beat with what we're doing.
This is mainly,
Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
and I would appreciate a note and mail. A lot of people don't do that. We've gotten away from that. So I think that's great that you're doing that.
Yeah, and with Easter coming up, I've sent, a few people that I'm in contact with about, they're getting their license, things like that. I just sent them an Easter